Family is Slumsa here at Ngosi Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. So today I am with Tamia Dow. Tamia, would you like to introduce yourself to our audience and also tell our audience where you are, please?
Yes, hello everyone. Tamia Dow here, actually coming to you from Cannes, France, at the Cannes Film Festival in the French Riviera. So I'm super excited to be here. I am a producer, director, screenwriter, and actress. All of those award-winning levels. I'm very excited to be here as a producer, holding a producer's badge, which is a coveted badge here in at the film festival. And I'm excited to tell you guys about what it's like to be here at the film festival, what it takes to get here, to get the producer's credit. I mean, people can just show up and come and attend. That's fine. But if you want to have an all access pass like I've been blessed with due to all of my work, I want to share that with you.
I'm sure, Tamia, our audience would like to find out all about what you just mentioned, and uh, and uh, and also why film producer, why an actress, why didn't you just do anything in the speaker? You are you are everything. You are a preacher as well.
Yes.
So I just want our audience. I'm just asking questions on our audience. What was the attitude that brought all this to say this is the character that I want to become? And I'm sure our audience they would like to make decisions when it comes to life. But every decisions we make in life, it comes with the attitude, it comes with the character. So was it your parents that actually motivated you, or was it you who actually decided, you know what, I'm gonna be this? Please tell us the journey,
Yes,
how it
yes.
began.
So it has a lot to do with me, right? Okay, so it had to do with my upbringing. Of course, my parents always making me believe that I can do anything I want to do. Basically, I mean, Nomsa knows a little bit of my background. I joined. I went to college at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Got my degree in criminal justice. Joined the military. Was a military officer in the Army, and then after being a police officer, military MP in the US Army, I went on to become a police officer on our local police department. That's the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Now, all of this was motivated from when I was 9 years old and I had a dream to be, and was writing. I was already writing short stories for a character called Double a Hub, and she was a female detective. Where did I get that idea from? Ah, okay, I'm moving my hands too much, so that's what happened. Yeah, that's what happened when you move your hands too much. Anyway, so I have to adjust here. Everybody knows, so life happens, right? You have to adjust. As we learned in the military, you have to improvise, adjust, and then move on. So we lost our beautiful lighting, but I'm going to try to stay less animated. That's actually funny. That's a little bit of an example of, how you adapt. You improvise, adapt, and move on. So you can still see me, correct? Can you see me and hear me? Okay, I'm hearing no acknowledgement, so I guess you cannot. Ugh. Okay, I don't know what to do to change this then. Numsa, can you hear me?
It myself as well. So I hope she's coming back. I don't know where she's gone. So wanted to um so Tamia, she's an actress, and she's at the Cannes Film Festival in France. And so if you have questions, please, you can put your questions. Or if you have your children or who love to get into acting industry, you can also put your questions as well. Hey, Tamia, are you back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. All right.
Stop
Apologies.
pressing. Stop pressing things.
I well, I'm so animated that I ended up hitting and knocking everything down. So you're right. Stop pressing. Okay. I'm not gonna touch anything. I'm gonna
Yeah,
sit
don't
way
touch
back
anything,
here.
please.
I'll sit way back here, so I'm not knocking anything down. But anyways, yeah. So I heard you kind of talking with people. So, anyways, if you have questions, yes, please put them in the comment section there. You, when we get done, I'll tell you how to get a hold of me and such. But, anyways, I am back, and I believe I was kind of talking. You were asking me how I got to where I am now. That was
Yes, yes,
becoming a
please.
filmmaker. So I basically I was went from law enforcement. I did a full career, retired from law enforcement, and I had a lot of expertise and training in areas that deal with social issues such as, mental health awareness, sex trafficking, domestic violence, which was my specialty before I retired. So I all these social issues, and I asked the Lord. I said, you know what? I'm so well trained. I mean, literally, before I left the police department, I had all the training you could imagine. So, like, I'm so well trained. Why would I just retire and pack it up and just put it away on the shelf? What would you have me do with it? I asked the Lord, what would you have me do with it? And so, the opportunity to do public speaking, which is where I met you, Nomsa, we met in London at a speaking engagement. Her and I shared the stage at this event. And not too long after that, or actually while I was there, had become a business coach. I had gotten a bunch of training, been inspired, already had written a book or two, and helped almost 70 people now write their story, tell their testimony, talk about how the Lord has saw them through from stuff that happened to them when they were in the bad times, got them through that, and then now they're in the better times. I won't say the good times because we're always constantly moving. And they were able to tell a testimony basically to help someone who might be here to get through and to get to where they are, the better times. There will be no perfect in our life. There will not be. But we can always just move towards the better time, move towards a time that's perfect for us or good for us. So, anyways, with that, I did that. And then the opportunity to make movies came to me when the hashtag Me Too movement happened. Hashtag Me Too happened. And I was basically watching the Oscars or something, one of the award shows. And the young man said, it was an actor. He said, if there were more female directors, there'd be less hashtag Me Too situations with people being forced to do something in exchange for a part. And when I say something, it's usually sexual. So with that, I said, okay, let me figure out how I can, right? Because I'm always a how can I? So, how can I help this issue? How can I help? To me, the only way I knew I could help was to become a director myself, to actually produce movies, to actually write movies, to actually come up with movies with roles for people of diverse backgrounds. For example, when I say diverse backgrounds, like, myself, I'm a little over. I'm sorry, I'm a little older. I'm a little older, and I'm a little heavy set. And I'm my skin coloring, and some people don't cast this skin coloring in films. So my point was to not only open up the door for women of all shapes, sizes, and ages, but also provide a very safe environment for them to come and work their craft or build their craft or start their craft. So that's what I was able to do and am able to do as a female director. And I've won a lot of awards. Here I am in Cannes, as part of the producers that are here, because I've produced over 13 projects, many short films. I'm working on three actually features coming up for 2024. One is a documentary, um, two are psychological dramas or sci-fi dramas kind of thing, and then one of course is a educational feature film talking about domestic violence, sex trafficking, mental illness, suicide, a whole bunch of aspects within that feature film, but it comes all, like I said, from my experience. So did I cover some pretty good stuff there, Nomsa?
Yes, yes, you have. I like it when you say you were watching something and they were looking for female directors. And I think women needs to actually, because women, we do have power. When I went to Andy Harrington, he was saying a man, a successful man needs a good woman behind him. And he was like, if it's not your wife, that means you have a good mom or a good sister. He was like, it's good to have all this success on your own, but without a good woman behind you, and the success is meaningless. So it was like, it's either you end up doing the other things. And what advice will you give uh, any woman out there who don't believe that, who don't have the courage to actually take uh, steps and follow their dreams, who believe that they are not enough? Because for you to be able to do the things that you do, you had the courage to believe in yourself. Not everybody has that courage. So, what advice can you give somebody?
Well, the key one you just said was you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that you are enough. And what the Lord has downloaded into you, the ideas, the projects, the things that you desire to do is enough. Because each one of us is unique in who we are in God. Okay. God created us all for a purpose. We each have our own purpose in life. A lot of people wander around aimlessly and have no clue what their purpose in life is. I personally, like I said, I ask, how can I be of use? What is it that you'll have me do? I literally ask that. I pray that daily. I ask for the divine direction from the Lord as to who to speak with, who I encounter. Because bear in mind, you go across maybe hundreds of people a day, especially those of you who commute and things such as that. So how do you know who to get that eye contact with, smile with? Because you guys have to realize that the smile is the most easiest thing to share and can be priceless for someone who is struggling, and they just need to be seen and acknowledged. So you looking at them and smiling, I'm here in France and people are speaking all kind of languages here, but you know what language everybody understands? The smile. Everybody understands the smile. Everybody understands the smile and wave. Everybody understands the, oh, oops, excuse me. There's so much universal stuff that you can expose or express that can be a blessing to other people. And to me, I feel that as you start to build in your own personal confidence and start reaching out to people and interacting with people, and I'm saying, I have a whole bunch of introverted friends. In fact, for me, I am probably more of an introvert now that I've retired than I was when I was working, because I need to rejuvenate. I need to, sit down, and because people, when we pour out, this, Nomsa, as speakers and presenters, we pour, and we have to take time to sit back and get refreshed. Now, during the refreshment is where I want to speak to the people who are watching about, is during your refreshment is when you grow, because your refreshment is about you. It's about looking at what it is, your strength. What is the strength that you have been given? For me, it's persistence. You know what? I've heard a lot of no's in my life, but I keep on working until I hear a yes. And maybe I went to the wrong door. Maybe I need to go to another door. That one says no to, then I need to go to the next door. It's about being persistently pursuing your dream and figuring out truly what is your dream, because there's a difference between dreaming and doing. You can dream every day, right? About walking the red carpet, about, meeting Viola Davis, meeting Richard Lawson, meeting Cedric the Entertainer. All of these things have happened to me since I've been in Cannes, right? So if you don't get up and create something that gets you at the place you want to be, then you're not going to be successful. And what I mean by being at the place that you want to be is that if I had never created a film, now I have 13. If I had never created a film, I wouldn't be here. I mean, I could buy a badge. People can buy a badge that lets them go see movies. Cannes Film Festival is about more than movies. So I want to walk you guys through that a little bit. This is the most, what do you say? That I would say the most expected ticket. People want their ticket to go to Cannes and to participate and to see themselves on the big screen, or see their project on the big screen, or see a project that they produced or one of their friends produced on the big screen here on the Palace, here at the Luminaire, the big place where you see all the screenings that Harrison Ford just did his, that Sean Penn, all these people are here. They're here in Cannes, France right now, and they're promoting their films. And there's many lesser films. Should I say lesser films? They're not going to block butts. So when we get here, we get this film festival program book. And inside this book, it tells us about everything that's going on in and at the festival. It talks about training classes that you can go to. It talks about networking events that you can go to. And for me, who's already produced 13 projects and looking to produce 4 more coming up next year, and also producing a film festival. So there will be a Las Vegas Film Festival produced by me coming up in 2024. In that position, networking is key. We come here to look for supporters. We come here to look for sponsors. We come here to look for collaborators, people who will work with us to help promote our film festival, plan and come to our film festival. These are the things that we as producers and directors and film festival directors come here, and I wear all those hats, right? Some people may come here and just their film is in official selection, whether they are in the short corner, which is going on today. The short corner today is documentary day here at the Cannes Film Festival, and I had shared with Nomsa when I finish here, I have to run off and go to the diversity in Cannes film section, where Viola Davis and her Juvie Productions has worked and brought on a whole bunch of diverse. When I say diverse, I want to share this with you, Nomsa, because I know this will be of interest to you. The Cannes Film Festival is in its 76th year. Okay, just rest on that for a minute. 76 years of films and filmmakers coming to the French Riviera, coming here to promote and see and screen their films. In those 76 years, there has only been one, two Black female directors whose films have been showcased in the big theater on the Luminaire in 76 years. Do you
What
see a
what do you
problem
what do you
there?
think that is, Tamia? What do you think that is? It's just 2 black female directors.
It's frustrating, is what it is. Because it's not that there aren't good films being made by Black female directors. Clearly, that's not the issue. Why are they not being selected? Why are they not being showcased? Why are they not being featured? Now, what I want to commend Viola Davis for, and a lady named Yolanda, who has put together the Diversity in Cons showcase, where the films will be showcased, but they're showcased off the main. Yeah, you in New York City, they say you're on Broadway and then you're off Broadway, right? So these films are being showcased off the main palais, not the big red carpet that we're all seeing, and watching on entertainment, around the world, that kind of stuff. The films that are being made by, women and, minorities, various different minorities, of different races and such, there we're not seeing them showcased as much on the main stage. I call that the main stage, getting on the Luminaire, walking up those red steps. And to me, it it kind of breaks my heart because I just realized and found this out this festival that this is the case. And to me, I'm thinking there's so many good films produced by Black women, and here at the festival, there are things called pavilions that specialize from different country, and there is an African pavilion. And Richard Lawson's film will be showcased in the African pavilion tomorrow at 4 p.m. But this is the thing. Why is it not on the main stage? One of my other friends, she's an actress, and she's in a film that's being showcased today at the Diversity in Cannes event. Yet it's not the main stage. It is off again, off Broadway. It's off Cannes. So why is it that all of these well produced, well done films are not making it and getting the attention that they should be getting, like all of these so-called blockbusters? And a lot of times it's because of the money aspect. Yet if someone's not going to invest in you, and I give this from experience, if someone's not going to invest in you, then you invest in yourself. But when you invest in yourself, you usually have to invest at a small budget to get your story told. Think about it, 13 films that I had to pull out of my pocket to produce, and get the actors, and get the all the stuff that comes with creating a film. And I have not had any sponsors. I have not had a what do you call it, a, oh, what do they call it? The companies, the big companies, run to me, with money, saying, please make your films, though they can see the quality of my films and what my messages are, which is all about education and empowerment. And it usually for women, but not just for women. I do children empowerment. I do men who are victims empowerment. So basically the empowerment of any vulnerable person. But you know what? I guess, even though I do it in dramas, I guess it's not the money that they want. Blockbusters, Big Bang, big stars, this kind of stuff. So, when it is just a heartfelt, well written, well acted short story with no names in it, you don't get the recognition that should be deserved.
I see. I see. It sounds like it's a very, very interesting job. Very challenging. You have to have patience, and you have to have the driven attitude. You have to have something that drives you. And it sounds really, really exciting. So, do you have anything to tell us about the festival? What are you up to today?
Oh, I have tons and tons and tons of stuff to tell you about the festival. The festival. There's so much to do here. You can never possibly ever do everything. There's movies, there's parties, there's networking. There's a place called the Market that you go to. They call it the Marché in French because everything here is French. There are people who will help to translate, and they do these manuals and things like this in both English and French. So we're able to do that. But when you come here, I'll just I'm so excited about it. Okay. So when you come here, there's a big run through. I encourage everybody to follow me and the adventures on triple, the number, so TRIPLE, the number 8, 888 Spirit. So SPIRIT Productions. 888 Spirit Productions on Facebook. We post the pictures, lots of pictures, interactions that we have. I mentioned to you at the top of our talk that there's specific reasons that I'm here, just as there's specific reasons why other people are here. I'm about getting some more films done, specifically feature films, having to do with topics that are of interest to my, following my demographic, should I say. And as I mentioned, my films are diverse, so I make a point. There's never going to be a film that I create that is going to be exclusively one race, this race, that race. I've lived a life of diversity. I used almost all the time when I was younger until I moved to Vegas. We were the only Black family in so many places that we lived in because my father was a corporate salesperson. So for me, diversity is what I couldn't wait to get to when I came to Las Vegas, to be able to interact with people of all different races, to go to school with them. And then now I cast them. I've cast an Indian film. I'm talking Middle Eastern Indian film, and did a story from that perspective. I have a Chinese short that's coming up, or should I say an Asian American short, where the majority of my cast are Asians. And the story is not about any Asian topic. It's just that I felt like, for diversity purposes, that's who I cast. That's who was able to come to the audition, do very well for the parts of the two lead characters, and they happen to be both Asian characters. So I think that's so important. When I come to Cannes, I bring diversity, because I bring my portfolio with me when I come to Cannes. We'll be screening in a special location, a private location, on Thursday, a showcase of my films that I've done. I'm putting 5 in there, not all 13, just 5 in there. And then I'll be sharing the time with some of my other colleagues so they can also showcase their films here in Cannes. But sometimes you have to create the environment you want. And this is a lot of what they're doing with diversity in Cannes. They are creating what they wish the overall umbrella of Cannes would be providing for for I say diversity, for non-white. I would just say for non-white, non-mainstream, non-big budget talent to be able to show their film. Try to be very mindful of my words that I use, because I'm so grateful to be here. I mean, the 76 years that they've been doing this, but to find out that there's people who have not been showcased for whatever reason, or they've been off Broadway for whatever reason, is a little heartbreaking. It's a little discouraging in a way. So I'm looking forward to being part of this diversity in Cons, and you guys can find that on. I know they're on Instagram. I'm sure they're probably on Facebook too. And it's just diversity in Cons, Cannes. So diversity in Cons, and you'll probably see Viola, and some of the films and stuff that are there. I'm very excited about that. So after you get here as a producer, or even as a person who's just interested in going to the film festival, a lot of people come here starstruck. And what I mean by starstruck is they're looking for what celebrity they can find. And for me, I'm not a starstruck person. I was on the plane with Richard Lawson. He was literally dressed down, had on a Kango hat, had on a shirt that said Black Terror, which is his film. And a lot of us wear our shirts to promote our particular movie. So I just spoke to him. I said, you have a film. Are you here for the Cannes Film Festival? He said, yeah. I said, oh, you have a movie in there. He says, yeah. I'll be playing the African Pavilion. Blah blah blah. We're talking, and I said, well, hey, Tamia Dow. Go to shake his hand, and he goes, Richard Lawson, and I look at him, and I'm like, oh my goodness. I said, yes, you are. Yes, you are, Richard Lawson. But he was just so, mellow and low key. And the thing about, when you go to film festivals and you're a producer or director, you are in the room with other people who are producing and directing, and they're big people. You know what I'm saying? So I always say, you just never know who you're sitting next to. I happen to be sitting next to Yolanda, who's in charge of diversity and cons on the plane. So that's why I believe in God's divine appointments, where he arranges for you to meet the people you need to meet to get to know what's going on and where you need to go or be. And that's exactly how it's been happening at the film festival so far. Some of the other things that people look for at the film festival, they have like a daily, these are called daily magazines. And the magazines come out. This one was from yesterday. So we were in day 6. So today we're in day 7. And you get magazines in English, and some are in French. Vast majority are in English. This is the actual newspaper for the day for the film festival. And then each day has a different picture on the front. They got plenty of stuff to post on there. You know, this is yesterday's also number 6. It has this actress on the front of it. Last year, Viola Davis was on the cover of the magazine in Cannes. I saw her there. You get promotional materials like this where people come here and they're promoting their project. They want to get it known and they want to get funding. Sometimes they're looking for funding. Sometimes they're looking for distribution. Sometimes they're looking for someone to believe in them and help to direct them. And a lot of times you can meet that at the market when you're going through. This is another one called Screen, that, you know, all these are like major magazines and they do daily versions of them here at the film festival, and, you know, showcase advertisement and stuff here. You can never read all of this stuff, trust me. You know, I'm after today I probably won't be picking up anymore. It's just going to get too overwhelming. And last year I took some back in my suitcase. Oh, they're promoting the same one on here. I took I had to like take and make my carry-on bag a checked suitcase so I could take home the magazines from last year. But get this, it's a year later and I haven't read them yet. So when I get home, I will be recycling them. I'm just being realistic.
I love that. I love that, Tamia. Um, if anyone has children like who wants to get into acting industry, can you please give our audience some advice? Because getting into acting industry is a, I call it, is a cruel world. It's a world that is beautiful and they can also be cruel, but not cruel as cruel, but it's the rejection that when you're being rejected so many times, some people can see rejection as being cruel, but for me, I see it as the strength. So, what advice can you give somebody who wants to get into acting industry and they gave up with the two rejection? Yeah.
Right. Yes. For the reality of the entertainment industry is rejection comes with it. You are not going to have everybody who loves you. You know, it's kind of like the social media industry, or what is it, social influencing industry. You're going to have people who love you and absolutely want to follow everything that you're doing. You're going to have people who hate you and they want to block you and talk about you and this kind of thing, you know. And usually that's so that they can bump themselves up, you know, if they're talking about you, putting you down, because then they're able to get a showcase of other, oh, you don't like her either? Okay, come join my bandwagon, you know, that kind of thing. But we know better than that, right? Hopefully, people see through that and know that. But when it comes to kids, young people, I would encourage you to make sure that the kids understand that it's just a step. It's just a step. Okay. And in order to get to that next level, you got to go through so many steps. If you got every single film that you auditioned for, or every single theater position, you know, every acting role that you auditioned for, that would be a bad example for that child anyways. Children need to learn to deal with disappointment and realize that sometimes you're just not the ideal person for that particular film, you know. And there's various different reasons why they are that way. But I also use children in my film, and when I cast my movie Meet Me After School, it was a short film about children and cyber stalking. It happened I actually filmed it right before the pandemic, and then the pandemic sadly made it worse because there were a lot of people online that were messing with the children, you know, going in there pretending that they were also a young person. And unfortunately, some children fell prey to it, you know, maybe got lured out of their house or to a park or something to that effect, which is what my story was talking about, was a predator, a child predator that was luring children to meet him after school at the park or at an ice cream place or something like that, you know. And at the time the kids thought they were going to meet their friend, you know, their 13, 14, 15-year-old friend, and then they would show up and see, you know, a 45-year-old man, you know, who would say, oh, I'm still your friend, I know all this stuff about you, this kind of thing. And of course we know that can lead to extreme tragedy, you know, molestation, murder, just all kind of just bad things that sometimes people who are up to no good do. But back to the children, though, I would say if your child is confident enough, allow them to audition for as many different opportunities as they can. And here's the thing, make it fun. So whether they get it or they don't get it, you're like, oh, we're gonna go to ice cream, we're gonna go to pizza, we're gonna go to, this kind of thing, and we're gonna celebrate, and you make sure you tell them, don't be too much of the stage mom or dad about it. If you catch something, because we see it, oh honey, what if couldn't you set up a little more straighter, or didn't I teach you to do this, or didn't I blah blah blah. So now the child is already discouraged that they didn't get the role, but then they're also discouraged that they upset you or disappointed you. So I say that because children are very sensitive, and there may be some great American actors, speakers, things like that, or I would say international speakers, actors out there that get discouraged at a childhood level and never go on to see their greatness because of the feedback that they've gotten from the people who should be their biggest supporters, right? So you have to learn how to kind of correct in love. Oh sweetie, you did such a good time, job, your voice was good. So talk about all the good stuff, and then say, and next time, here, you'll be straight up like this and you'll do it like this. So that's a little different coaching than you were all slouching, and you didn't do what I told you to do, this kind of thing, right? You see the difference. So let's just learn how to just kind of pour a lot of love on them, and then lovingly correct, as opposed to correct, 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 because they will remember those negative corrections and forget all about all that lovingly stuff. But you close that up with you putting your arm around them and saying, let's go get ice cream, let's go get pizza, let's go to the park, something that they love to go do anyways. They're like, oh, okay. Because think about it like school. Some kids are straight A students, some kids aren't, right? So when they go and they take the test and they get a C and they come home with the C, you look at it and you're like, oh, hmm. So maybe there was something we could have done a little better. Was there something we could have done a little better? I mean, it's just the way that you coach it, as opposed to, what? You brought home another C? You're better than this. You're da 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 da. It's a whole different approach that will last with the child. So now the child is like, I'm bad because I got a C, as opposed to, is there a way? Do we need to sit down together? Is there a way we should do this a little differently next time? And that is just a little bit better coaching for the child to inspire. Let me go back and try again, to do better. And then when they do better, what do? You celebrate. When they bring home a B, you celebrate. When they bring home an A, you act like they just, saved the world. Oh, this is, what did you, this, you did a great job. What is it that you did? Let's do something. Let's do this again. So when they see that celebration, ah, you know, when they see only negativity, they're coming up from a D. I don't know if you guys do the A, B, C, D, F, but if they're coming up from a D level and then they get to a C, celebrate. When they're coming from a C level and they get to a B, celebrate. So the same thing with the filmmaking and the auditions. When they're coming up from barely being able to say anything on the stage, you guys all know the stage fright that our kids have when we first put them up there, and they're just staring at you in the audience and they're like, why am I here? And they may even run off the stage crying. You just go and embrace them and say, oh, you look so good out there. You were going to do better next time, that kind of thing. So they're not so traumatized, because acting, until you get comfortable, can be very traumatizing. I would also encourage them to continue to be part of acting classes. So when you're part of acting classes, a lot of times the acting schools will create films or create plays, create opportunities for the students to grow in themselves and become stronger and do better on auditions. So yeah, that's some of the stuff I would recommend, because it is not an easy place to break in, to Hollywood. You could have a special look and break in without saying a word, but that's a rare occasion. You got to put in the work. And part of putting in the work is accepting rejection, realizing that 50 people may be putting in for that role and only one person is going to get it. So that you got to prepare your child for that. You got to prepare yourself as an adult actor for that. You do your best, And then you have to leave it to the casting directors and the director and whoever decides to pick you for the film, because all you can do is be the best you and present the best you that you can at the time. Does that help?
Yeah, it does help. I love that, Tamia, that when you talk about it take time. Things take time, step by step, because some people they believe that things happen overnight. They have to get up in the morning and become famous and stuff. I agree with you that take step by step and also be able to cope with rejection. And also, when you say that when a child goes for audition and when they're being rejected, it doesn't mean that it's the end of everything. They just need to keep going and keep taking acting classes. I think that is the best. And how long did you have to audition, or did you know people? What happened with your story? I just want to know. I'm just interested. I'm so curious.
So, as a young person, as a teenager, younger, actually younger than teenager, my sister and I acted. So we lived in Ohio, and my sister and I were in acting training. Did acting training. We were part of at the Kent State University. We were part of the, like, I guess it was kind of a child's group, because my sister's 3 years older than us, and I was kind of following her around. But we took acting classes. I was in Jesus Christ Superstar, which is actually my favorite play to this day. I really enjoyed it. Bye Bye Birdie. I can't believe I'm forgetting that. We were in like 4 productions, as children, as young people. And as I mentioned, my father moved us often. So by the time we got through with our productions, we were moved to another city. And then my sister carried on with acting, and I began to focus more on law enforcement. So I am trained. I'm a trained actor from when I was a child. But then when I told you I got to that point where I retired and I was speaking and doing all this kind of stuff, and I kind of asked the Lord, what am I supposed to do? And the door was open. So, did I have to audition? I have done auditions, in this time period of my time. Now that I'm more of a producer director, I kind of act as a extra. What I mean, not as the character extra, but I do extra work. But it's an aside from what I'm doing. I mean, I enjoy to act. It's fun. I just got through playing a serial killer in a film that we filmed in Nicaragua. As part of this team that I'm on here, we're part of what is called the Worldwide Producers Club. So if you do the hashtag Worldwide Producers Club, you'll get to see a bunch of us and meet a bunch of us. We are actually, there's there's 6 that we call the executives, which are the ones who started the club. I'm one of them, and then we have additional people who have joined over the years. And so we're about 21 people strong right now. We have people from Germany, Barcelona, or so Spain. I don't want to leave anybody out. I keep leaving them out. Sweden, Italy, Turkey. I know I'm leaving people out, but U.S. There's 2 of us from the U.S. Cyprus. Anyways, there's a bunch of us from all over the world. We literally, that's why we call ourselves the Worldwide Producers Club. And last year we got together under the direction of Darwin Reina, who is the founder. He runs 3 different film festivals, and let you people know, if you are filmmakers that are watching this, there's 3 different festivals. Please reach out to me, and I will help you be a part of the festivals and join us, because I'm part of the worldwide producer team. And we have a festival coming up in September. It's called the Love and Hope Film Festival. So look that up on Film Freeway, Love and Hope Film Festival, or you can Google it. That'll come up too. And then we have the North Film Festival that is going to be in New York City. So it's going to be the US version, New York City. The Love and Hope is in Barcelona, Spain. The North is in New York City in November. And then the North Stockholm, which is the original festival that will be going on its third year, is going to be in February in Stockholm, Sweden. So when you go to Film Freeway or you Google, you're looking for Love and Hope Film Festival in Barcelona, the North Film Festival in New York City, and the North Film Festival in Stockholm, Sweden. And again, those were September, November, and February of 2024 is the February dates. Anyway, so I would encourage you to look into that. But I tell you about the Worldwide Producers Club for a reason, not just because I actually got cast for my role, because Darwin was the writer of the movie, and he had seen my films in the film festival. So this does happen, that someone will see you, because Darwin's not the first one that's cast me from a film, that's seen me in a film and cast me from watching the film, and not with an audition. They literally like, I like you, I want you to do this character, blah blah blah. And what is interesting about the character that he cast me for, it's very outside of the characters I normally play. I've played anything from an angel to a teacher to an attorney, and in this film I actually play a very dark character. I play a serial killer. So it definitely was a stretch. I know you're laughing, right? Yes, I play a serial killer.
Oh my goodness, a serial killer. Oh my God.
The chaplain plays a serial killer, yes. But that's the thing about acting, is you want to be cast in diverse roles. And I'm very blessed because I am culturally ambiguous in my look. I mean, you can literally put, makeup on, straighten my nose, do different stuff to make me look like different cultures. I've played a Middle Eastern Indian woman before. I've played a Polynesian woman, from the Hawaiian Islands. I've played a Latin woman, and of course I've played a Black woman. I mean, if there were specific needs for that ethnic look, they could, transform me through the makeup artist, to become whatever look. And then, of course, you just, change the hair, style of clothing, things like that. And then now you become that character. And that's what's important about acting, is diversity. You, the actor, being versatile, being able to look and portray different characters so that you can be cast, because they want to see you in multiple forms to see how they can cast you.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting. And also, how do you cope with the hours, long hours? As a producer, I'm sure you have to be there the beginning to the end, because when my daughter was filming Cruella, we had to leave home at 4 a.m. and drop it for 6 a.m. in London. So, how do you guys cope with the long hours?
I
Because
I guess I learned yeah, I
you
guess I
are
learned
very
this
busy.
from being a police officer, the ability to compartmentalize, to actually focus on what the project is at the time. So you do, when it comes to productions, you do pre-production, you do the filming, and then you do post-production. You want to spend a lot of time in pre-production, because that's when you're putting together your you want to find your locations, you want to get all of your actors rehearsed, well versed in their lines. Pre-production is, getting all your films, your cast and crew set up, so who your camera people are, who your mic, your boom mic sound person, who's doing snacks, who's doing this. I mean, there's all this stuff that you have to get done in pre. And this is when you say, how do I deal with it? Pre-production is so key, because as long as you get everything set in pre-production, it gives you less stress and worry when you're on set filming, right? Because you have already, I'm going to say it like this, you've already cast the people that need to play the roles to make the film go complete. And the cast can also be the crew, because you cast the crew. You get your production assistant, you get your assistant director, you get, you have all of that online before the day of the shoot, so that when the shoot happens and you do your briefings and everything, This is ideally what we're looking at. We're going to need you on set this day and you here, and we're going to film there, and blah. All of that is done in pre-production, so that when you get to production day, okay, so in pre-production, you're probably getting sleep. You're probably getting pretty decent sleep, right? Active filming production, you probably are not. Because if you're most directors like to watch their dailies, they like to watch the replay, of what was done there and then. You want to make sure you get that scene, because you don't want to have to go back and recreate that scene. So you're checking to make sure that the lighting was good, the audio was good, and that we got the shot that we want to, and the different angles that we want to. Because this diner scene, it can be recreated, but why do that? Why not just get it the best you can the first time? So that's why you get the long hours. You get a director maybe doing 10 shots of a particular scene with extras and things like that. And you need the extras, like we call our script supervisors and our continuity people, to tell us this person was sitting here and that person was sitting there and they were wearing this. And, because you may use extras for different days. So they may be in a red dress one day, and then the next day at another scene they're supposed to be in a blue dress with their hair different, or a hat. So that's where you end up with your people that you cast, your crew members, your continuity people, your script supervisors, to be there and actually paying attention to that, because you as the director are focused on that, getting that scene and working with your camera person to make sure that you get the scenes for the day that you need. So yes, it does end up being a very long day, because even before the people show up for their call time, you're there before them. And then when they leave after their call times, you're still there after them. So you have a long day. But here's the thing. If you believe it's worth it, you'll do it, because it's only for a period of time, and then after that, you go into post production. You yourself can lay down for a little bit, take a couple of days of rest, unless you're in a timed competition. And I actually tend to do a lot of timed competitions. So then you're pretty much stressed from beginning to end until you get the project edited, get it the way you want it, and get it submitted. Then you can rest after you get it submitted. But if you're just doing a classic feature film or short film that's on your time frame, then you can get the film in the can, as we call it. Get the picture shot, and set it aside. Make sure. I spoke about script supervisor. I had the blessing to be a script supervisor on a feature film recently, and it was very interesting, because you're taking a lot of notes that you need to be able to share with the editor, and also help the director to make sure that everything looks the same as it did the last time we shot the scene that's right before this. Because most films are not shot in order. Like, it doesn't go scene 1 to scene 134. It'll be like scene 1, 10, and 15, because they all happen in a diner. And scene 20, 30 and 50, because they all happen on the street. So with that, your script supervisor and you, the director, have to be mindful that we don't get down to the last shot and realize that scene number 17 was never shot, and it's a key part of the script.
I love that, but I cannot go without asking this question, Tamia. How do you maintain a positive attitude and stay motivated in such a competitive industry? Because the industry is very, very competitive, and sometimes you can actually get to be taken out on screen. I've seen my children, when they go with a different play, and then when they get there, somebody gets removed and they get to take the play, or they get to be removed. So how do you stay positive?
Wow, that's really good what you point out, because attitude is key. People can be removed from a set just because you were cast as a particular whatever. If you come and you're a pain in the butt, or you're asking too much questions, or you're disrupting other people around you, you may be asked to leave. And that means somebody that was sitting on the wayside, on the side, gets asked to come up and take over your roles. Like, you've been watching this person say these lines for the last, 3 hours while we've been practicing. Now I need you to step up and say those lines. So we always want to be good understudies, even though we don't know what we're going to end up understudying for. Understudies are people who, the main actor, in case something happens with the main actor, they step into the role. So with me, my positive attitude comes totally from the Lord. Okay. I look at every single day as a blessing. Every single day that I wake up and I have the ability to breathe and walk and eat and spend time with friends and family is a blessing to me. And I always make sure to ask the Lord, what is it that He would have me do? Even when it comes to me interacting with people, it's, am I supposed to say something to this person besides just smile and acknowledge their existence in the world? Do you have a download for me for them, which a lot of us call prophetic, like a prophetic inkling when you can give somebody a word. I've been very blessed since I'm here in Cannes, because I'm here with, as I mentioned, several other directors, and quite a few of us are living in this very house that I'm sitting in here. There's been a rotation through of almost 10 people, because not everybody stays for the whole conference. I'm here for the whole conference. Thank you, Lord. That's another thing I'm very thankful for. But you know what? Your attitude on the plane, your attitude, when you get to the house and meet your housemates, your attitude when you are all interacting, your attitudes down when you're on the playa. They have a beach here, a really nice beach, or you're walking around the marche or wherever you are. Your attitude is so important, and it is your choice. We can choose how we want to interact. I am here. I think you got to see some of my videos, and if anybody wants to see it, you go to Tamia Dow TV online on YouTube. Tamia Dow TV online, and you can watch the videos that I've made since I've been here, and I have plenty more coming. But the thing is, so I'm here after having been in a recent car accident. So I'm having some limitations on this visit, and I talk about it. How do they look at limitations? How are they accommodating limitations here in the city of Cannes? But my attitude is, I'm going to figure it out anyways, right? So for me, I'm walking with a cane to make sure I'm able to get, from where I need to get to the other, because I have pain. My attitude is still, thank you, Lord. Okay. Thank you, Lord, that I got here, that I am here, that I'm available to be used, by Him for people around me. And that's kind of how I keep my attitude up, because I know that there is a reason or a purpose every day that I get up for my life, and for the dreams that are in my heart, and for the people that the Lord connects me with. There is a purpose for us all. So I like to be able to be that sunshine, to offer that light, as much as I can. I have to be, I got to be realistic. We all have down moments. Probably if I'm walking around in pain, I'm not always smiling, I mean, but I am of the attitude of gratitude, thankfulness that I'm able to be here. I was also blessed to be able to pray for all my classmates, my housemates. I consider it the chaplain in Cannes. I'm the chaplain in Cannes. I pray for the whole event. I pray for those people who the Lord brings to me. And in fact, one of my girlfriends and I that I just met here are going to be going down to the playa, to the beach, and praying after I go to the diversity screening. And then I'm going to go down there and do a prayer. So I'll be praying for the all of Cannes, and be here making sure that, at least the chaplain is in Cannes, and I bring Christ to Cannes. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I have this beautiful dress that one of my sponsors blessed me with, that has a sign of Jesus down the front of it. And I've taken pictures all around Cannes with that dress on. I want people to always remember that there is a higher purpose for all that we do in life, and we have to choose to be positive. We have to choose our attitude, and we have to choose to be a blessing to the people that are around us. So that is pretty much how I keep my attitude up, because I know that it could be worse. That looks like we lost Nomsa. Hello, Nomsa. Well, not seeing her here, I want to tell you how to connect with me if we're still live. Please, Tamia Dow, you can find me on IMDb, the Internet Movie Database, as Tamia Dow. You can contact me via email at coachtamia at gmail, coachtamia at gmail. I'm on Instagram at Tamia_Dow. I'm on Facebook at Chaplain Dow. And you can find me on Triple Eight Spirit Productions on Facebook, or you can find me at Tamia Dow TV Online at YouTube. God bless everybody. Thank you for having me, Nomsa. But I can come back.
Okay, do you want to come and say goodbye with me and then we can go out because I got kicked out?
Okay.
Okay.
Here I come.
Sorry, guys, I got kicked out. I'm not sure why. That's why I don't use the Restream. I prefer to use Zoom. Hi, Tamia, you're back.
Yes.
I got kicked out. That's why I don't use Restream a lot. I prefer to use Zoom.
Yes, whichever you choose for next time we come on, I can actually bring on my housemates if you're interested to hear from other filmmakers, producers here that are in Cannes. Since we're all still here, you know, I have Darwin Reyna, which is the one I spoke about, who is the director of the 3 different film festivals. So he can speak to you. He used to be a model. I mean, has an amazing story. So I think your
Is it the one I've seen on YouTube on day one?
Day one, yes, the one who's always with me in the videos. Yes, it's Darwin.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, he's got a beautiful character. Okay.
Yes, and then I'll get Alessandro. He's the Italian actor who's actually in a film that's being screened here. He's official selection film that will be screened at the Big Luminaire on the 23rd. So tomorrow, he'll be screened tomorrow at 7 p.m. on the red carpet. So I can get Alessandro. And I'm trying to think who else. Giuseppe has gone. He was another actor from Italy, but he has gone already. We had 2 Germans in the house that were our famous actors in Germany, and they too have gone, left already. So I'm trying to think who is here that I can get you. Oh, I have Nayeli. She's a young actress from Sweden. She's here. Let me see who else is in the house. I have a producer friend that could come on too. So we could do a whole, where you could talk to us all and we set us up like a panel or something and you can interview us.
Okay, you just let me know I'm available. Just let me know when I'm available.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, just let me know. Any words of encouragement, Tamia, to our people who would like to be getting into acting industry or who would love to be producers but they don't have the courage? Please, words of encouragement.
Well, the first thing is you have to do it. You literally have to make a decision that you're going to do it, and you have to do it. No one's going to come to your house, knock on your door, walk up to you, hand you an opportunity while you're sitting on the couch. No one is going to do that unless it's one of your loved ones that happens to be bringing you some toast or some tea. Because if you want to go out and get something, you got to go out and get something. You cannot do it from the couch. You cannot earn, producer, from the couch. You literally have to get up, get out, and do it. And the only person that can do it is you. Okay. God has, let me, I know I've told you the parable of talents before, right? God had given three people, he had left three talents, three different versions of talents: one talent, two talents, five. He left, he went away, he came back, and he said, "What did you do with the talents that I gave you?" The first guy buried him in the backyard because he said, "Well, I know you would be mad at me if I lost it. So I buried it in the backyard and no one ever saw the talent." Okay. Let's talk to it about your ability to act, sing, produce, whatever it is that you do. The second person, so the first one did that, and then we'll come back to him very quickly. Number two took the two talents, went out into the marketplace in the world and showed off their talents, singed and danced and did everything that they could do, and then came back and gave the Lord four. So he got two and built it to four. The third one, who got five, went out and did all of those things and went into the marketplace and did all of this stuff and got it to 10. So the Lord was so happy. He was like, "Thank you, now you that built it to four. Thank you that built it to 10. I'm going to give you even more, even more, even more." He showered blessings on them because of their willingness to be able to go out and do what they could with just a little bit that the Lord had given them. But then he came back to that wicked one and he said, "You are a wicked and selfish servant. I'm going to cast you out." And he cast him into just the sea of nothingness, basically. So nobody wants to be the guy that gets their stuff cast out. You want to be the two or the five. You want to be the one who takes whatever little talent the Lord gives you and makes the most of it, because that's the gift that you give back to him. God gives you the gift of life, the gift of whatever talent it is he gave you. And what he's looking for you is to grow that gift and give it back to him for his glory. So that's what my encouragement would be to you, is get off the couch. And if you have a challenge with getting off the couch or going out the front door, contact me and let's start working on building that confidence, because each and every one of you that's watching this right now, there is something. You have at least one, maybe two, maybe five or more. So come on, let's do it. You don't have long for this world. Tomorrow's not promised to any of us. And you don't want to leave here empty, but you also don't want to leave here leaving stuff on the table that the Lord put in your heart to get done and you were too afraid to do, because you don't want to be cast out when you have to give an account for what you did with those one, two, or five talents.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tamia. And those who want to connect with Tamia, if you want to see her videos, I will attach her videos on YouTube and here on Facebook as well, on the comment section. So you can view her videos and see the film festival, what they're getting up to. And hopefully she will come back. If she has time, she will rearrange with me. Then we can have a chat with her panel and find out what they get up to. And it's an amazing journey becoming an actress. And I'm not gonna keep you, Tamia. I really appreciate you coming today.
Yes.
God bless. And I'm looking to hear more about what is going on there. Just update me with what you want to do. And God bless.
Amen. Off to see Viola. God bless everybody. Bye.